Hey everybody, welcome to Destination Pro Wrestling. My name is Tony and I'm your host of today's video, and we're going to talk about 5 huge surprising returns that could very well happen at the Royal Rumble pay-per-view. And trust me when I tell you guys, this list is going to be very realistic. Now, you guys may be watching the channel and you guys might be seeing some changes. Don't mind that. We're just working on physical presentation and all that good stuff. So eventually we'll get it all figured out, but so far we're making some progress. In the meantime, I definitely want to get out this video. So Royal Rumble is just days away, and you guys already know that Royal Rumble is always about making big surprises. The match specifically, you guys know in the past few years, we've had some really awesome surprises. We've also had some very bad ones. So we're going to take a look at top 5 random returns or debuts that could potentially happen at Royal Rumble 2019. And in this video, we're specifically going over the male roster. So none of the females will be added to this one. That's going to be for a separate video at a different time. So with that being said, we're going to kick it off, and we are going to start off at number 5. And that is none other, oh, okay, not this picture. It's none other than The Rock. That's right, guys. Rocky Maivia, probably not realistic for 2019, but the idea of The Rock coming back to WWE for a one-off appearance for the Royal Rumble would make a lot of sense. Now, I gotta be honest with you guys, when it comes to The Rock making his return to WWE, I don't see this being anything much more than just a random surprise. And the reason for that is because The Rock has a lot of traveling and a lot of movies and television shows and a lot of projects that he's involved with. And of course, if he were to get hurt, it would be a major problem. I actually see this being a situation in which The Rock would probably finalize or be in the final 2 of the Royal Rumble match, and then whoever were to eliminate him were to get that rub, which would obviously really big. It would be a really big deal. And we'll go through the list, and I'm going to kind of tie this into the list because this one specifically, I kind of have a fantasy matchup that is very random, one that probably won't make a lot of sense to you guys, but I can piece it together, and you guys will have to find out a little bit in the video. But it does correlate together. I do think it would be really cool to have The Rock come back. And this way, you know, WWE just kind of gets a little bit more excitement headed into WrestleMania. So with that being said, we got to jump into number 4, which is none other than Chris Jericho, who definitely brings a lot of intrigue to whichever promotion he is on. As you guys know, Chris Jericho has been featured predominantly on New Japan Pro Wrestling this past year, and that is not going to change because it is expected that he's going to have a couple more, a few or a couple, I don't know, whatever. He's going to have a little bit more to do with New Japan, and now there's rumors that he could potentially be doing stuff with All Elite Wrestling. But Chris Jericho making a one-off appearance definitely makes sense. We saw him at the Greatest Royal Rumble, and I think Chris Jericho in this case definitely would be making a small return. I like that. I like Chris Jericho. I think, you know, he's been doing some really cool stuff in the wrestling world. However, in this situation, I don't think it would happen, but I would love to see Chris Jericho bring his New Japan dark persona to WWE, which obviously, you know, as far as the swearing and the cussing goes, probably wouldn't be too realistic, but with the eye paint and, you know, that huge, like, heavy metal, you know, grunge look, I think Chris Jericho being a heel in the Royal Rumble would definitely be really cool, and that is ultimately why he is number 4 on this list. I wouldn't expect Chris Jericho to bring the list with him, but you guys never know. There's rumors of Kevin Owens returning and Sami Zayn. You can use this as like a cool opportunity just to kind of get people talking. And Chris Jericho at number 4 would definitely make a lot of sense. Now, one thing I do want to mention about Chris Jericho too, he is doing his Rock and Roll Rager again. So with Chris Jericho doing his own thing, I think this benefits him a lot for being on WWE television. Obviously, it's been pretty beneficial for him to be involved with Being the Elite, which is that episodic show on YouTube with Young Bucks and Kenny Omega and, you know, Cody Rhodes or whatever. So obviously, the more places that you see Chris Jericho, it makes more sense for him to be in a situation where he does another one-off appearance. Out of everybody on this list, he is one of the 2 that I cannot potentially see winning. So it would just be nothing more than a surprise, which is almost like a surprise every year. So maybe it's not that big of a surprise. But I do think it'd be pretty cool if we were to see New Japan's version of Chris Jericho in WWE. Number 3, Bautista. And this is one of the guys that I think could definitely win the Royal Rumble if he were to return. We kind of saw him tease a little bit with Evolution at SmackDown 1000, which makes this more intriguing. But right now, with Roman Reigns being gone, I can definitely see the Universal title going to somebody new, but not somebody who's a full-time superstar. So if you're the WWE, you can definitely market Bautista versus the Beast. And for the Universal Championship, if we were to get Bautista going one-on-one with Brock Lesnar, I think it would be a really nice big grudge match. Now, match quality is something I don't know how I feel, but it is rumored that this winner of the Royal Rumble match will not be main eventing WrestleMania for the first time ever, and it is likely to do with the females being able to main event WrestleMania for the very first time. Now, if those plans are actually intact, I can definitely see Bautista getting this win. I think him going on a very small part-time championship, which is something I would normally disagree with, but if he was to go on a part-time championship run only for him to put over a new talent, I think it could definitely work out. Now, this isn't my favorite one out of this entire list, but it does make sense and I can see it happening. So that brings me to number 2, and you guys are probably going to laugh, but Vince McMahon is somebody who, honestly, for as many years as he's been in the WWE, this would probably be a surprise that a lot of people would be kind of upset that I guess it's been wasted on. But Vince McMahon is one of those guys that he would definitely, a lot of people would be shocked because he's obviously up there in age, but with the storyline right now that the McMahon family has taken back WWE, right? With this storyline that the McMahons and Triple H are running things again, I can almost see a situation where somebody is about to win the Royal Rumble, and maybe this could be AJ Styles, right? Look, I'm trying to piece it together the best I can. AJ Styles has this new attitude. He punched Vince McMahon. Imagine if Vince McMahon came out at like number 30. He screws over, I can't even remember at this point who won the tag team mixed match challenge, but I think it was I think this is a situation where, you know, that person who's supposed to come out at number 30 doesn't come out at number 30. Vince McMahon comes out, screws AJ Styles. AJ Styles gets thrown over the ring. He loses, and then whoever wins eventually throws out Vince McMahon. I know it sounds crazy, and that's the best part about this. You got to have fun. It's got to be a surprising element, and it makes sense for Vince McMahon to screw over AJ Styles, especially with the way things have been on television lately. You know, yeah, would it be a wasted spot? Sure. But can you make sense of it? Absolutely. And Vince McMahon is shredded. So this guy can come out and do a quick, 2-minute thing in the ring, get thrown out, and hopefully that would be the last that we see of McMahon's on TV for a while. But guys, here is the best part. Number 1 is absolutely my favorite. This one makes the most sense to me, especially at a time where Roman Reigns is no longer on WWE programming. He's not competing for the Universal Championship. People want something new. People want something fresh. Guys, I love this. It's none other than Matt Riddle. And we talked a little bit about The Rock. We said The Rock would make a lot of sense. So let's talk about Matt Riddle. WWE's Performance Content Creation Lab has produced some incredible videos. And one video recently that was really interesting was Matt Riddle talking about wanting to slay the Beast. And that was his dream. He wants to go into the Royal Rumble, win the Royal Rumble, and slay the Beast. Now, the writing is on the wall. Imagine a guy like Matt Riddle getting the rub by eliminating The Rock. Not only would people be shocked, but I would say 75% of the audience watching the Royal Rumble live probably don't know Matt Riddle unless they are an online fan. Most of those kids probably don't watch NXT. This is a situation where I think WWE, especially because the title probably won't main event WrestleMania, I think this is a situation where Matt Riddle doing double duty, competes at TakeOver Phoenix, shows up the next day at Royal Rumble, and miraculously wins. And on top of that, you know, maybe it is a little bit crazy to say that he eliminates The Rock. Maybe it's crazy to say that he eliminates AJ Styles thanks to Vince McMahon. Who knows what the situation is, but WWE probably wouldn't do this. But if you really want to make a huge star at this pay-per-view, one that really shocks people, one that gets people talking, who is this guy? Yeah, that's Matt Riddle. Matt Riddle's a former UFC competitor. And not only did he kill it on the indie scene, but he's killing it on NXT. And on top of that, now you have a story to tell about Riddle and Brock Lesnar. WWE would really change the landscape of their programming if something like this were to happen. All Elite Wrestling is coming soon, and WWE has a lot of guys on that roster. And if they don't take care of them financially and they don't give them the creative opportunities to blow up, you can imagine a lot of guys leaving for AEW, especially if they're getting that television deal. So my pick to win the Royal Rumble not only is one of the biggest surprises we would ever see, but maybe one of the biggest changes to WWE's programming, because this right here would spark a new wave. My pick is Matt Riddle, and I think this is a huge win for WWE, and I think this would be a huge win for the fans. I know Matt Riddle winning the Universal Championship would be quite shocking, and some people are probably looking at me like, dude, you're an idiot. But people want fresh. People want something new, and this is the way you get it, guys. This is the way you get it. You do something unexpected, and then for all those people who want Samoa Joe and, you know, Tyler Breeze and all these guys that have, like, they're not winning titles. I'm not saying they're all world championship material, especially Tyler Breeze, especially Ty Dillinger, you know, but I see these guys, Andrade, I see all these talented people, and whether or not you see them as a world champion right now, a lot of that might have to do with the fact that it's really hard to imagine one of these guys taking the belt from Brock Lesnar. Matt Riddle wins the title, and you could book things completely different. My name is Tony from Destination Pro Wrestling. Today's top 5 surprising Royal Rumble debuts or returns. It's definitely going to shock the world if any of one of these things happens. So tell me what you guys think in the comment section down below. And as always, thank you guys for watching Destination Pro Wrestling. I'll see you guys next time.